Have you ever found yourself staring at your birth date, that seemingly random marker of your arrival, and felt an inexplicable sense of significance? As if this particular alignment of seasons and stars might hold coded messages about who you are at your very core? What if I told you that Carl Jung, the revolutionary psychologist who mapped the collective unconscious, discovered that your birth month is anything but accidental, that it functions as a profound psychological imprint, shaping your deepest strengths, your recurring struggles, and the unique life purpose only you can fulfill? This isn't astrology. This isn't fortune-telling. This is analytical psychology rooted in decades of clinical observation and cross-cultural study. Jung observed that just as nature moves through distinct seasonal energies, winter's introspection, spring's rebirth, summer's expression, autumn's release, human psychology mirrors these archetypal patterns. When you were born imprints you with specific symbolic energies that influence your personality, emotional patterns, and life journey. In this exploration, we'll uncover how January's frost shapes different souls than August's blaze, how March's awakening creates distinct psychological patterns from October's decay, and most importantly, how understanding your birth month's archetype can become a compass for your deepest self-discovery. To understand why birth months matter psychologically, we must first explore Jung's revolutionary concepts. While Freud focused on personal sexuality, Jung discovered something far more profound, what he called the collective unconscious. After studying myths, dreams, and religious symbols across dozens of cultures, he identified universal patterns, archetypes that exist in every human psyche regardless of background. These archetypes, the hero, the rebel, the sage, the nurturer, represent fundamental human experiences encoded in our psychological DNA. But Jung took this further. He noticed that nature's cyclical patterns mirror these psychological archetypes. The stillness of winter reflects the sage's contemplative energy. Summer's abundance embodies the sovereign's expressive power. Modern science now confirms Jung's intuition. A landmark 2021 study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences tracked 10,000 infants and found measurable differences based on birth season. Winter-born babies showed 23% higher sensory sensitivity on neurological scans. Autumn births demonstrated stronger organizational skills. Why? Because seasonal light exposure during pregnancy affects serotonin and dopamine pathways in fetal brain development. Jung understood symbolically what science now confirms biologically. We absorb our birth season's energy. As he wrote in Man and His Symbols, the psyche is born into a particular moment in the cosmic rhythm, and that rhythm becomes part of its fundamental structure. Your birth month isn't just a date, it's your first encounter with cosmic patterns that shape your psychological foundation. Let's now explore each month's specific archetypal imprint. For each, we'll examine core strengths, shadow challenges, historical embodiments, and integration practices. January, the sage. Born amid winter's deepest silence, you absorb nature's contemplative energy. Your psyche develops exceptional patience, strategic thinking, and wisdom beyond years. Like the frozen landscape, you possess remarkable emotional resilience, the ability to endure hardships others couldn't survive. Historically, Martin Luther King Jr., January 15, embodied this archetype, combining profound wisdom with patient strategy in his civil rights work. Shadow aspect. This strength becomes problematic when it crystallizes into emotional permafrost. Many January souls struggle to access spontaneous joy or express vulnerability. The sage's greatest challenge is thawing their emotional landscape without losing their grounding wisdom. Integration practice. Prescribe yourself weekly absurdity sessions. Dance wildly to terrible music. Wear mismatched clothes to the grocery store. Or laugh deliberately for 3 minutes each morning. These acts melt emotional ice while preserving your core wisdom. February. The revolutionary. Your birth occurs as winter's grip first loosens, nature's signal that change is coming. Accordingly, you develop extraordinary abilities to detect broken systems before others notice them. Like Galileo, February 15, who saw celestial truths centuries before telescopes could prove them. You possess visionary perception. Your mind naturally identifies what needs transformation. Shadow aspect. This gift often isolates you in mental fortresses. February souls frequently feel misunderstood, leading to intellectual arrogance or rebelliousness without purpose. Your deepest challenge is bridging the gap between visionary insight and practical implementation. Integration practice. Practice embodied visioning. When brainstorming ideas, simultaneously engage in tactile activities like gardening or pottery. This grounds abstract thoughts in physical reality, creating the bridge your psyche needs. March, the awakener. Arriving with spring's first tremors, your nervous system develops exceptional sensitivity. You feel life's emotional currents intensely, like Van Gogh, March 30th, who translated inner turbulence into swirling starlight. This makes you extraordinarily empathetic, artistically gifted, and spiritually attuned to life's cyclical nature. Shadow aspect. Without proper channels, this sensitivity becomes overwhelming, emotional tsunamis that drown perspective. Many March souls struggle with mood instability or retreat into fantasy worlds to escape emotional intensity. Integration practice. Keep morning feeling logs before checking devices. Write 3 emotions you feel and their physical sensations. This builds emotional literacy while preventing overwhelm. April, the warrior. Bursting into existence with spring's explosive energy, you carry nature's initiating force. Like Da Vinci, April 15, whose curiosity launched revolutions across disciplines. You possess remarkable courage to start new ventures. Your presence energizes stagnant situations, and you instinctively protect what matters. Shadow aspect. This initiating power often manifests as impulsiveness, burning bridges mid-crossing, or abandoning projects prematurely. Warrior shadows include unnecessary conflict and frustration with slower-paced people. Integration practice. Implement the 10-breath rule before significant decisions. Literally count 10 breaths while asking, will this action build or destroy? This creates crucial pause between impulse and action. May, the builder. Cradled in spring's full bloom, you develop exceptional capacity to create stability. Like Salvador Dali, May 11, who transformed surreal visions into tangible masterpieces. You build sanctuaries amid chaos. Your gifts include practical creativity and loyal nurturing. Shadow aspect. Builders often become prisoners of their own creations, clinging to comfort zones, resisting necessary change, or staying in stagnant situations because they're familiar. The shadow whispers, better the devil you know. Integration practice. Weekly constructive disruption. Deliberately alter routines, rearrange furniture, take new routes, or wear different styles. This maintains your stabilizing gifts while preventing rigidity. June, the seeker. Born under the year's brightest light, your mind develops exceptional connectivity. Like Anne Frank, June 12th, who found universal meaning in confined darkness. You perceive hidden connections everywhere. Your restless curiosity drives constant exploration of ideas, people, and experiences. Shadow aspect. This gift often manifests as chronic distraction, digital overwhelm, a mind with 50 browser tabs open but nothing completed. Seekers frequently struggle with commitment phobia and superficial engagement. Integration practice. Daily anchor question before breakfast. Ask, what do I truly want to focus on today? Write one answer and place it where you'll see it hourly. This builds focus without crushing curiosity. July, the nurturer. Swaddled in summer's warmth, you develop profound emotional intelligence. Like Nelson Mandela, July 18, who healed nations by first tending his own scars. You instinctively sense and soothe others' pain. Your gifts include deep loyalty, protective instincts, and emotional attunement. Shadow aspect. Nurturers often lose themselves in others' needs. Self-erasure disguised as service. Many July souls struggle with resentment from unexpressed needs and emotional exhaustion. Integration practice. Complete I need statements before breakfast. Today I need, start small, 15 minutes alone, and honor it. This builds self-nurturing muscles. August, the sovereign. Arriving at summer's peak, you embody natural leadership. Like Barack Obama, August 4, who empowered rather than controlled. You inspire through conviction rather than command. Your presence commands attention. And you instinctively organize chaos into order. Shadow aspect. Sovereigns often confuse control with leadership, demanding compliance rather than inspiring commitment. The shadow manifests as pride, inflexibility, and isolation at the top. Integration practice. Daily empowerment question. Ask one person, how can I support your growth today? This redirects leadership energy from control to empowerment. September, the analyst. Born during harvest's meticulous organization, you develop exceptional precision. Like Agatha Christie, September 15, who plotted perfect mysteries, you spot patterns in chaos. Your mind excels at creating order, anticipating problems, and optimizing systems. Shadow aspect. Analysts often become paralyzed by perfectionism, editing life rather than living it. Many September souls struggle with analysis paralysis and critical self-talk. Integration practice. Daily, messy action. Deliberately send one unedited email, publish imperfect work, or leave a bed unmade. This builds tolerance for healthy imperfection. October, the diplomat. Entering autumn's balance. You master relational harmony. Like Eleanor Roosevelt, October 11, who transformed geopolitical fractures into the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, you find common ground where others see division. Shadow aspect. Diplomats often avoid necessary conflicts, accumulating silent resentment. The shadow manifests as passive aggression and loss of authentic voice. Integration practice. Weekly truth ritual. Voice one unpopular but necessary opinion. Start small. I prefer different restaurants. To build authentic expression muscles. November, the alchemist. Conceived in the year's darkest womb, you transform pain into wisdom. Like Marie Curie, November 7, who turned radiation into healing, you find meaning in darkness. Your psyche understands death, rebirth cycles intimately. Shadow aspect. Alchemists risk drowning in existential depths. Depression disguised as depth. Many November souls struggle with nihilism and isolation. Integration practice. Daily. Candle meditation. Light a candle while naming one thing you're releasing. Watch the flame transform darkness into light. This ritualizes your transformative gift. December, the visionary sage. Born as daylight wanes, you bridge temporal realms. Like Jane Austen, December 16th, who decoded hearts across generations. You connect ancient wisdom with future possibilities. Your gifts include philosophical depth and prophetic intuition. Shadow aspect. Visionary sages often disconnect from present reality, floating in abstract realms while neglecting daily life. The shadow manifests as impracticality and spiritual bypassing. Integration practice. Daily earth contact. Stand barefoot while visualizing roots reaching into ground. Feel your connection to the now. This anchors vision in reality. Having heard your archetype, you might feel resonance or resistance. Both are valuable. This recognition is step one in Jung's individuation process, becoming your most complete self. Remember, archetypes aren't cages. They're starting points for self-understanding. The sage must discover play. The warrior must cultivate stillness. The alchemist must embrace light. Your growth lies in integrating these apparent opposites. Take a breath with me now and ask honestly, what shadow aspect did you recognize in yourself? That uncomfortable identification is where your gold hides. Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This shadow work isn't about fixing brokenness. It's about reclaiming disowned power. Your so-called flaws contain your greatest strengths. When brought into consciousness, having named your shadow, you stand at the threshold of transformation. But this work requires compassionate structure, which is why I created the 21-day Shadow Work Journal. This isn't a product, It's the companion I wish I'd had during my own Jungian journey. Help you to 1. Identify your archetype's hidden traps. 2. Decode subconscious patterns driving self-sabotage. 3. Transform wounds into wisdom. 4. Integrate shadows into strengths. You'll find it in the description. Consider it a lantern for the parts of your soul. As Jungian analyst James Hollis reminds us, the greatest burden we carry is the unlived life. This journal helps lighten that burden. You didn't choose January's silence, or August's blaze, or November's dark womb, but this moment, this breath, this choice, entirely yours. Will your shadows remain poison in the soil, or become compost for wisdom? Jung mapped the territory, the courage to journey inward that blooms from you. Your birth month is the ground. You are the seed, the season of becoming. Always now.